what I just through practice, I used to change display names in Amplitude, and then I found events were being passed to Datadog and Redshift and other destinations, and I was like, oh goodness, that event name is different in Amplitude now than it is in Datadog. And so I found it's much better to go to the devs and say, look, we have an event name here that needs renaming. It's a way of helping them learn better naming conventions and taxonomy. If they make the updates, you do have to go through the step of saying why it's important. But if something is named one thing in code and a different thing in Amplitude and different anywhere else that event gets sent, I'd encourage trying to build that dev relationship. And so anytime I find an event that is named without alignment to taxonomy, I found it's best to go back to the devs because then it's updated in code and will be updated forevermore wherever it goes.
I agree 100%. The thing what you're doing in the UI is you're just doing a visual relabeling within the UI, and the raw data underneath doesn't get relabeled because once it's ingested, it's ingested. And so if you offload it into the data warehouse, you're offloading like the original payloads.
The only thing that I'd add to that, right? So when you go back to your devs, have the event corrected, you'll have two different events in Amplitude. You can merge those events, but even the merged events don't flow down to your warehouses, right? We forward the raw data for warehouses. So even in Datadog or any other destination that you're sending that data to, you still have two different event names, and you wouldn't know those events are merged in Amplitude and not merged in any source or any destination outside of Amplitude. One kind of workaround to that, Glenn, that's your screen. Yeah, okay. Do you have any merged events in this account or renamed events? So if you go to the dev console here.
Here?
Yeah, inspect, let's go to the network tab.
Give me a second because this is, okay, network tab, that's what you need?
Yeah, and then reload the page once. In the filter, search for graph. So these GraphQL responses will have event transformations, simple observed events, and custom events. The same applies to properties as well if you're on the properties tab. So if you click on the get event transformations,
We can
it's
see
third
it
from the bottom.
here.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
And then look at the response for this. That's the entire list of event transformations that you have. So the way I've worked with customers on this is, again, it's a manual process, but you can copy this response, pass it along to your devs, and these changes can then be applied to any of the destinations that you have. So kind of a manual process, but it still works in terms of keeping the taxonomies in sync.